What is the difference between these two squares? This is one of my favorite tools in the workshop, the Carpenter's speed square. And I'm a metal worker, but I use it here in the workshop a lot. But it has some problems. So I made this, a very simple, similar shaped square called the miter square. And I want to show you why you might want to have one of these in your toolbox. So if you notice, the miter square has one big long leg and a flat surface. The Carpenter's tool has a flange, but the flange is on both sides. The Carpenter square has the flange on one of the legs. The miter square has the flange on the hypotenuse. There's some benefits to both. Now, why would you move the flange to the hypotenuse over one of the legs? Well, we should talk about that. So one of the things that bugs me about a speed square is just how short the flange is. That's only about 1/4 of an inch. This square was designed to hook a 2x4. You see how the radius is really small? Hooks on there, real nice. Leg length there, grabs that roll, no problem. Just like it was designed for it. But because this is a carpenter's tool, it doesn't work so well on metal. Metal has a large roll. And as you can see, the hook doesn't come down to the face. Can it stay here? And can we draw a line? Sure we can. It does grab that roll a little bit and we can get a straight edge on there. So for demonstration, let's find the center of the tube with this tool and we're gonna use 2 inches. So I'm gonna hook it just like I normally would and I'm gonna etch 2 inches. Now let's look at the miter square. The miter square has a scale on the face right here, 1 to 4, but it references off the inside of this flange. And because this flange is long, we are going to be able to come all the way down to this surface and reference a true surface down here and not the roll. One is riding up high on the roll and one is hooked on the flat. Let's see the difference in accuracy here. Look at how far off that was. That's the fireball miter square. That is the speed square mark. That is gonna mess you up. I've found this to be a problem. Cut a hole in here, the holes don't line up. These little issues stack up because of how short that flange is right there. We can check this material. See how we're back on the 2? We can go from this side, we can flip it over to this side, and our mark lines up. Obviously, what does this side say? Whoa, look at that. 1 3/4 inches? That's so far off. And it gets even worse when you look at material like this for welders. Look how big that roll is. There's no way this is hooking and giving you an accurate measurement. This is a carpenter's tool. This will hook and give you that accurate measurement. See how the miter square gets all the way over onto that flat? Now the next thing we want to talk about, I want to bob this off at a 45 and give myself a nice line across here. I've used this forever. Where would I line this up at? Do I match the edge right here and draw 45? Let's just do that, okay? So the miter square, this is one continuous line all the way through here. Use this sharp edge right here and we can come down to that point right there. See how we're nice and flush? And when I roll this around, look how far off that was. We are off 1/8 of an inch. That corner that's missing off of this square is off this far. That's a significant problem. So if I wanted to now 45 that, this is the true line to cut to be able to match this sharp edge, not this one. This is the good one. So why are these 2 lines different? How did we get here? Well, once again, this flange is too short and it's being referenced off the roll, not this back edge. So what that does is it pushes this square forward like this. In this picture, you can see when it hooks the roll of the tube from the top, what's happening is this 45 line is now getting pushed forward. So here's where this square is supposed to be. See how low it is? This is going to be a guess. This distance is now going to change for every new piece of material you use because these rolls on the corners are not consistent. I've been doing this long enough that I know that I gotta drop this square down lower and I have to eyeball it every time. All of us have been doing this for years and it's frustrating and we shouldn't have to. Now let's actually lay out a 45 and wrap this all the way around the whole entire tube. So let's say I want to come back 2.5 inches. If you look on the inside of this square, we have a ruler. It's nice and flat. So we can just lay this down and put this at 2.5 inches and give me a mark. Or I can flip it over and hook and do the same thing, 2.5 inches. Where this one does not have a scale on this inside of this flange. So I can't sit this flat and go, where is 2.5 inches? This does not have it. The only way to get that measurement is to hook the edge. We don't have as many options for layout with this square as we do this one. This one we have 1, 2, 3. We can even lay out this way. See, we have a scale going up the side, so we can match that there and lay out down here. Having as many options available to you to lay out is really handy. Let's continue along the path. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to match my 2.5 up to the side here with this edge, and then I'm going to make a mark. See my line there? Now what I'm going to do is I can flip it over, match this line to the same one I just did. Now I got a vertical. And if I want a straight edge from here, that's what this is for. So I can extend it. Now we hook it again, match the line up to it. This line and this line should match. So we run our square around. What do you think is going to happen? That comes up to it, nice and sharp. That line now matches. This is a perfect 45 layout line all the way around this tube with this big roll on here. Now trying to do that with this one, you're guessing. You're gonna say, Jason, I use this tool to help check for squareness. See how this one was obviously not square? You see a gap underneath there? You can do the same thing with this one, okay? So let's pretend we wanted to lay a number out from this surface down here of, let's just say 3 inches, right? Well, we need to cut this corner off or guesstimate backwards off of this round radius, 3 inches, maybe there, because I have no way to lay out from an inside corner out with this tool. This tool, we can do that. See, we have marks here. So now I can lay this out. I can see where 3 inches is, and I would have been off. 3 inches up, 3 inches out, because we have the scale on the side. Another thing this is kind of sucky about, for laying stuff square. See how the square is elevated off the table here? We got gap here. Not real good for laying out a line. See how this lays nice and flat up against the surface? Now I can draw a 90 because this sits flat. And I can do layout from here. As metal workers, we're not always using standardized stock shapes, like this piece of oval exhaust tubing. If I wanted to 45 this or a 22.5 degree angle, I could easily lay this out. That's 45. So let's say I wanted to lay out a bolt hole flange, like this plate. Typically, here's how I do it. I would hook the edge like this. I would give myself a line at 1 inch, and then I'd flip this around and give myself a line at 1 inch, giving myself an intersection. So I'd have to move the square twice to get that line. Here's why I like this square. We have a scale on this little miter square going from 0 to 3 and 0 to 3. So if I want that mark here, I'm going to put 1 inch on the line, 1 inch on the line, eyeball it up, boom, done. 1 inch here, 1 inch there, done. 1 inch here, 1 inch here, done. So I just laid 3 lines out faster than this one. That's why I really like this square. It's super fast. That's how that scale is supposed to be used. Pretty cool, huh? And another thing that people always have a question about is, what about the inside radius? Is there something there? Well, it's really sharp, so you can hook over a flat bar. They come in 3 different sizes for 30 bucks. This one's actually my favorite because I like how small it is for doing stuff like this on smaller material or tubing. It just fits in your hand nice. I find myself using the small one the most. But here's the thing, I love this tool. This just suits fabrication a little bit better. You can find it at fireballtool.com.